Revelation 1462. From the 9th of June 1940. Divine gift is a proof of love. Entering into the will of God. In a quiet hour of contemplation, you will become aware that all earthly desire is an obstacle to a deep and intimate connection with God. And when you have recognized this, all danger is over. Only he who can give everything, will receive everything. The grace of being allowed to receive the divine word, is incomparably more valuable than the fulfillment of earthly longings, and therefore he who gives himself to earthly desires and cravings, loses unspeakable graces. However, only covetous love is an obstacle to the height, so it should be fought with all one's strength. It is of extraordinary importance to establish contact with the Heavenly Father, and for this the will is first required. It must turn to Him fully, it must express itself in a way that visibly betrays the desire for God. Man's will always be the only thing demanded by God. Divine love is incessantly endeavoring to make himself known to man in such a way that man consciously strives for this love, that is, desires to be seized by it. And this desire is subordination of the will under the divine will. For a desire for union with God is awakened in man, which is the cause for the transformation of his previous way of life. For he who walked without God before, acted according to his own will, which was therefore turned away from him. To have recognized God, however, means to enter into the divine will, a complete submission to everything God demands of him. And it also means an unhesitating abandonment of the previous way of life. It is therefore only understandable that the human will must first declare itself ready to submit to the divine will, before God now announces his will. It is understandable that again and again the will of man must be surrendered in order to be able to accept this manifestation of his will. It is understandable that every earthly desire weakens the will striving towards God, and therefore now also the desire for His word becomes less, and it is understandable that everything must be fought against what could diminish the strength to accept. For the divine gift is more precious than anything the world can offer. The divine gift contains the love of God. And is there anything more beautiful than to be allowed to receive the proof of divine love? The desire of the heart is also satisfied, only in such a way that the body does not feel it so pleasantly. However, the soul is extremely happy about any connection with the love of God. And therefore the human being should think of his soul and grant it the great happiness of divine love, but not pay attention to the body and its desire, but insert himself into the will of God without limits, to be able to receive divine expressions of will. The love that prompts God to his fatherly care for his children, should be desired in the deepest heart, because to be allowed to stand in this love, is the most beautiful thing that man can desire on earth. His heart should beat towards the Heavenly Father. The child should long for the Father. Then he will also happily receive the outflow of his love. The divine word, which establishes the most intimate connection with him and is therefore the visible proof of his love. Can you ever be offered anything more delightful than that the Heavenly Father himself draws near to you and desires to speak with you? And if he obviously offers his love to you, it only requires your will to receive this love. You may only want that your thinking is guided by him, and from now on you will only fulfill his will, carry his will in you, and also use your earthly life according to the divine will. Amen.